Howdy folks, the star of today's lore video is the Commerce Guild's Recusant class destroyer. Now, based on designs stolen by members of the Quarren Isolation League, the Recusant class destroyer was at least as numerous as the smaller Munificent class frigate, but with the firepower to threaten the Republic's Star Destroyers. Now also, as with the Munificent class, the Recusant was built quickly and cheaply, giving it a skeletal look that added to its threatening aura. Now, unlike the smaller support frigates however, it did not rely on tensor fields to hold it together. Lightly armoured and shielded, it was hugely overarmed. Rarely deployed in groups of less than 4, and this made the Recusant a significant threat to Republic shipping and a real issue for the Navy. Now, at just over 2,500 meters long, a Recusant class vessel was longer than the Republic's Venator class Star Destroyer. Now, while the Venator was better armoured, faster and more manoeuvrable, the Recusant had the edge on weapons thanks to the huge forward-mounted heavy turbolaser cannon, as well as its other 4 heavy turbolaser cannons, 6 heavy turbolaser turrets, 5 turbolaser cannons, 30 dual laser cannons and 60 point defense laser cannons spread throughout the rest of the ship. Now, unlike the Munificent class ships, the Recusant was not designed to land troops for ground assaults. Instead, its 40,000 strong battle droid complement, held deactivated in deployment racks, were reserved for boarding actions. The Recusant class ships were the vessels of choice when the CIS leaders required captured Republic ships for covert operations. Now, as the standard Recusant class destroyer actually had no hangars, it didn't have an established starfighter complement. However, it was normal procedure for Vulture class droid starfighters to roost in the hollow hull sections of the destroyer, ready to provide fighter cover, and there was enough space there to fit roughly around 240 of these Vulture droids. Now, the habitable decks, which were occupied by the small crew and any passengers, were actually very messy as well. In the short, relatively narrow greenlit corridor sections, undulated and turned sharply around vital components and conduits, making detection and defense difficult in the event of an incursion. Now, furthermore, the hollow nature of the superstructure made the ship very vulnerable if its shields failed. Now, although the Recusant was a firepower match for the Venator, it did have several disadvantages beyond lacking the Republic Star Destroyer's heavier armor and shields. The Separatist ship was slower and less agile, thanks in main to its lesser reactor, its Class 2 hyperdrive compared to the Venator's Class 1, and the 3 cheap inofficial thrusters located at the rear of the ship, some distance from the main reactor. Now, these thrusters were notoriously vulnerable. During the Battle of Coruscant, for example, Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker were able to fly through the wreckage of a thruster that was utterly destroyed by fire from a Star Destroyer. And all of this was as nothing compared to the primary weakness of the Recusant class destroyer, which was the droid brain that operated the ship. Supported by a skeleton crew of 300 other droids, it was notoriously slow to react. In complex pitched battle, it was not unheard of for the destroyers to collide with other vessels, as happened at the Battle of Coruscant. And that is the Recusant class destroyer. So thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you all in the next one, and until then, may the Force be with you.